Okay guys, welcome back to the channel. I let you guys vote and you decided that we needed to work on this. I've had it for over a year now and I haven't touched it. So the rear end is locked up. I believe it's stuck in 2 gears because this just kind of randomly moves around, doesn't go anywhere it's supposed to. And it was apart when I bought it a little bit. That was bolted on, but he said it had been off. So platforms was off when I bought it. I threw it on to haul it home. So let's start getting things apart. First order of business, I'd like to check out the transmission to see if I'm going to need to swap that, or if I'm going to have to just move the forks around inside and shift the transmission around into neutral. So let's pull the platform off and see, and once we've got the transmission addressed, we will get it running. I do not remember how much oil this has in it. It has enough. It's pretty clean, so we can start it on that, make sure it runs before we change it. This hood came off another tractor that wasn't on this tractor when I bought it. 10 horse Kohler, hydraulic lift. It is a 1970. Oh, that looks not promising at all. Yikes. Okay. So I'll just have to go over everything and see what I can figure out. But in the meantime, let's pull the platform off and see what we find. All right, let's pull this cover off of here, or this shifter, and see what's underneath of there. You guys saw that? As soon as that bolt came out, this moved. Not a single one of those was tight. Oh boy. That doesn't look good. Let me get you guys in there to see what's going on in there. Okay, so this here should not be bent. Here's the top shifter, that would be 3rd and 4th. The other shifter is all the way over here, you see, in what looks to be probably 1st. So this needs to be straightened here, and then I can bring this shifter back over into neutral. So let me put you guys in a stand and see what I can do. Okay, so this transmission is not seeming to be good, so I'm going to drain the oil out of it, and then I'm going to take it out of the tractor and put it up here on the bench and split it and see what I can find. Probably end up just putting a different transmission in it though, but I am curious as to know what failed, because it is stuck in third gear and it was also in first gear when I took it apart. So I'm going to get it pulled out and go from here. Okay, well, it's out. Tractor's sitting on some jacks back here. Back plate's off. Completely, 100% forgot to drain the oil out of it. So, I guess I'll just contend with that when I get to it, I suppose. But, let's find out what's the matter in the internals here, I suppose. Something's not quite right here. So I'm going to check and make sure I set it on the right side and split it. So I'll bring you guys back when I do that. Okay guys, it's the next day. I just finished rigging this up on there. Got my impact socket ready, my impact ready. I'm gonna see if I can get this hub off. It's been soaking for almost 24 hours now, since I went to bed last night. So let's see if it'll come off now. Hopefully it doesn't go flying and hit me in the head. I'm gonna put you in the stand and let's see. Sorry for the air compressor in the background. Came off. That is the proper way to take a hub off. 2-pound sledge. Rigged up gear puller setup. It's not required to throw things on the floor though. Works pretty good. Yes, I took the snap ring off. It's over here. Okay. Hub's off. I just checked the parts book. This stays in this side of the case, so I'm not going to take any of it apart. Sorry about the background sound. The cat came in here with me and he feels the need to make a lot of noise. So I got all these screws loose. I'm going to take them the rest of the way out and we'll have this apart. So let's go. got it apart finally. Needed some persuasion to get it over the axle, but got it. So this piece here is the problem child. Let me turn on your flash. This piece here is not doing what it's supposed to. It's supposed to be hooked on both. It seems to be twisted. And it does slide and move. Okay. There we go. Ooh. So, cartilage. Missing a tooth right here. Missing a tooth here. I'm not sure, but I assume that's probably supposed to be in the middle, not off to the side. And this gear here is missing every single tooth. There's not a tooth left on it. Should look like this. Instead it looks like that. So there's not a tooth left on that thing. Differential looks okay. Don't see any problems with it. So that definitely is a bit messed up. And for anybody that might complain about anything I'm doing, this is the first time I've taken one of these transmissions apart. I've never split one before. So kind of halfway winging it. Everything else seems decent. So, oh, here's 2 teeth missing here. The rest of the gear has all of its teeth. So it seems like everything associated with this gear is missing teeth. At least one. These look like they're ground a little bit. Like somebody was grinding gears. So if I was to fix this, I'd have to replace this gear, this gear, this gear, and this shaft. And I'd have to replace this piece here. Not exactly sure how it works, honestly. Looks like it's been crunched into gears a couple times or something. Alright, so dug around in here a little bit and pulled this out. So it goes in here. This hole goes on the bottom of this. This hole goes on the top of this. Or no, sorry, that's backwards. This goes on the bottom of this, and this goes on the top of this. But it's just a touch misshapen. It's kind of supposed to be straight, you know. So yeah, that's not great. And like I said, these teeth here are missing. The bottom's got all the teeth. The very bottom. Haven't looked at that one. That one's good. It's just obviously been ground a good bit. So I would this transmission has definitely seen way better days. This fork is froze up on the shaft. Nope, no it's not. It was just stuck. Sorry for the stupid ad in the background on the radio if you can hear it. These JDB Now people are gayer than fuck. and demonetized. So, yeah. It appears to be back in almost down to where it's supposed to be. So I need to replace, I'm not going to fix this transmission, but if I was going to, I'd need to replace this gear, this gear, this gear, this shaft, this straight piece. And to be completely honest, by the time I bought all those, I'd probably have over $100 in them. And I have more, but you can buy a good used transmission for $100. So it's just not worth doing. It is a little disappointing that I can't reuse this transmission since it was the original. But, I mean, that's the way it goes. So we will be getting a different transmission and putting it in that tractor. And getting it going back together. So this transmission is I'm not exactly sure what I'll do with it. I hate to send it to the crusher because it's got good parts, so I might just throw the halves back together and keep it around for parts, but I don't know. If anybody has a transmission that they need parts for, let me know. I'll just sell you the whole transmission for a few bucks. I don't really know. Not 100% sure if that's supposed to be centered. I'm fairly sure that it is supposed to be centered, but it's hard to tell. I've never had one of these apart before to know. So yeah, but I don't see any other damage other than a few gears and that bent shaft, which is unfortunate that 3 gears and a shaft put such a damper on this, but that's okay. Here's the other half of the case. Everything in here looks very good. There's nothing wrong in there. So yeah, it's just this gear, this gear, this gear, and the shaft that this gear is on. That's all the issue is. Oh, other than this piece here. So, yeah. 3 gears, a shaft, and this piece is what's keeping this transmission from being good. I honestly do not know what in the heck they would have had to do to this transmission to clap it, I guess. But they did, regardless, so I guess that is the end. Let me know if you need this transmission. I will be keeping the hubs, and I don't know, I'll get rid of the rest, I suppose. Oh, I will be keeping the shifter as well, because I will need that for a new transmission, because shifters are different on different transmissions. So I'll be in need of that in order to, for one, make it look right, because that's white to match the tractor, and also to have the right shifter, because they're different on different year models and whatnot. So I am going to probably call it a night for tonight and get back with it tomorrow. Okay, since we determined yesterday that this transmission is toast and I am not going to put money into it to fix it, I have got a parts tractor. But first, I kept noticing green paint on this and yellow on the hub when I was scratching it up, taking it out and pulling things apart. I bet they already went through a transmission in this and put this one in it, because otherwise it should be an LSD transmission, because it's a 1970 hydraulic lift. So, just something to think about. It's already on at least its 2nd transmission, and it's about to be on its 3rd. So let me show you the parts donor. Now, you guys have seen this on the channel before. I bought it and got it running. I bought it 2-part out, and you guys wanted to see me get it running. So I did, put a bunch of money into it, and the engine ended up being in need of much work. It leaks a lot of oil, and it knocks very badly from the balance gears. So I think it's all from the balance gears. So I plowed with it, and it's been sitting, and I decided I'm just going to part it out instead of putting more money into it because it's a 69. So the transmission I put in it gets to come back out for that 112 over there. I'm also going to put this seat on that 112 since I do not have a blue seat for it. That is a blue seat under there, believe it or not. It's just in rough shape. And I'm going to keep parts off of it, and the rest will be for sale. So if anybody needs parts from it or would like the rest of the tractor, let me know. I will be keeping the hood for sure, keeping the grill. See here, obviously the rear tires and axle are going on that tractor over there. Probably keep the front tires and of course the lifts. So the engine, the frame, the lift setup. Oh, helper spring I'm keeping too. I put that on there. But everything else is going to be for sale. So let me know if you need any parts from it or if you just want to buy the rest. I'm not going to bore you with taking it apart. I'm going to get some things apart on it, and I'll bring you back when it's time to put them in that other tractor. All right, guys, it's the next day. See, no more transmission in here. Here it is right here. So we are ready to switch back plates because, as you see, this one's red. And I'm just going to put this on there. Tried to clean some of it up to see if I could get to the white underneath, but they cleaned it up and painted it, so there's no white underneath. So it'll just have to go on how it is. So let's switch back plates. This is the transmission that's going to go in the tractor, and has a brand new drive belt. We're just going to leave that on there. So let's switch back plates real quick and put the rear lift on that back plate and throw it in the tractor. Alright guys, I got this bar on here for the rear lift linkage. I don't remember if I showed you or not. This came off the other tractor. They have washers welded at the front. So if I put a blade or something on here with it set up like this, I'm going to have down pressure at the rear. So I might eventually try to replace the existing factory valve with one that has float, but I'd have to find one first. As you saw, back plates on the transmission, rear lift plates on the back plate. I just got to switch this shifter out if I'm going to, and I can put the transmission in. If I decide to do this, actually I probably should film it, show you guys how. I know this is a confusing issue for some people because you have to have it lined up correctly. So I guess I'll get this switched out and show you guys what I was talking about when I said them need to be lined up in the other trans, and we'll go from there. So let's get this swapped out. Alright guys, so first things first, most of the time when I take one of these apart, there is a rubber O-ring up in here. Jeez, focus. Guess I can't use the light. So, to take this apart, there is a snap ring in here. Let me get my pliers into it. Okay, got the snap ring out without breaking anything. Now, this will come down out. Should. Let me smack it around a little bit. Okay, I had to take mine over to the vise and hammer it, but it should just fall out. And this comes apart like this. You got this piece here, which holds it in. Then you see this little rubber O-ring here. I always just replace that real quick and clean everything up. So let me grab a new one and put it back together. Alright guys, so if you look at it, it's a square. It's squared off. It's not like round like this. I'm just going to use one of these because these are on hand and I've never had one of these leak. So, this is the original. This is what I'm putting in it. Let's switch it out. Now to put it in, you just take this off the top of the shifter and take the old O-ring off, set the new one on, set this back on. Now if you see inside, it's kind of dirty where the O-ring goes. Just clean that up on the inside here and we'll be back in business. Okay, see I cleaned it out. Now I've slid the O-ring down on and just set this all back in here. Make sure the O-ring sets down into its space, and you do have to make sure that this is in the right spot because it is directional because of the offset. So I now need to set it on my transmission, or not set it on because the other one's still on there. I need to compare it and make sure I have it in the right way. So mine seems to be in the right direction. So I'm going to put my snap ring back in. If you notice, the casting is longer this way than this way. So this side of the casting goes on this side of the transmission. And so this, of course, has to face forward. So this is how it goes. Just like this on there. So I'm going together correctly. Now I just need to toss my snap ring back in and I'll be good. Okay, so after some serious fighting, I ended up having to take my retainer out all the way, and I didn't grind it. I used the wire wheel and cleaned it up, add some burrs on it. It's not a very heavy metal, so I would not suggest using a grinder, but we're in good shape now. So let's get this switched out. Alright, so you will need to take this off a 1/4 inch socket or wrench, whichever you prefer. There's 3 screws slash bolts, whatever you want to call them. Things this small I call screws. Okay, now I got them all loosened up a little. Before I break that loose, I'm going to blow a bunch of this off with the air compressor so nothing falls in the trans. Now, ignore the retarded commercial in the back and don't go to jdmedia.com. It's a fucking scam over there. It's a waste of time. And their stupid ass commercial didn't help them either. Alright. See, mine's pretty dirty inside, but that's alright. Ooh, there's some serious sludge in here. And normally I would put a new gasket in here, but if you guys can't tell, the gasket is still on here. And it didn't rip or tear when I took that off, so I'm just gonna go with it. Now, I will show you guys what I was talking about. So, here's that piece of metal that was bent up right here. And here's the two forks. It's currently in neutral. When you put the shifter in, this piece has to go in between those. And if they're not lined up like this, you'll have to take it back apart and do it again. Because that piece of metal will not let you take it out of gear and go into the other gear. If you know what I mean. Like, if say this is shifted over here, it won't let you, if you have this shifted over here and you put your shifter in here, it won't let you come out and over and shift it. So it has to be lined up like this, and then you just set that right in the groove, set it on there, and bolt it back down. So let me put you in the stand and get that taken care of. Alright, so like I showed you, you just take this, make sure to set that in the groove, and then what I'm going to do is snug the bolts so the shifter cannot go anywhere. The casting here, snug all three bolts up. There, now it's not going to move. Okay, I can move that up and down, which means I'm in neutral if I'm in the right spot. Here's reverse. Oh, you guys can't see the shifter. Here's neutral. Reverse. I felt it go in. 2. Come out of 2. There's first. Third. Fourth. So, I got it in the right place. And everything works. I know that this is a good transmission because I plowed with it in that other tractor and haven't done anything with it since. Now that that shifter is switched out for the white patio one to match the paint job on the tractor, back plate switched out, I got this on here. Let's put the transmission in the tractor, and then we can throw the platform back on and get some things back together. Alright, so transmission's in, rear lift is completely hooked up, springs hooked up, belts hooked up, brakes hooked up, everything's bolted in, everything's together, shifts through all the gears. So if nobody notices, steering wheel is slightly bent, but I also see that the steering shaft is bent a little bit, so probably this tractor got rolled over at one point, doing something idiotic, no doubt. I guess that's what happens when you have your turf tires in the narrow position. That's what they had, as you guys saw. And so yeah, let's put the platform on and the tires on and the clutch pedal on, and we will be done and ready to go ahead with the engine. But it's, I don't even know what time tonight. Fairly late, it's dark out. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up for the night, and we will be back on this project tomorrow. For you guys, it will be here in a few seconds. So I will be right back. Okay guys, it's story time. I don't know when I'm going to put this in the video, if it'll be at the start or if I'll just leave it right here where I filmed it. But I just talked to the guy I bought this from and got a little bit of a backstory on it. He said he bought it in Indiana, and when he bought it, the guy said that it would get stuck between the gears, and so he actually went and didn't want the tractor. The only reason he bought it was for a blue patio seat near perfect that came with it. I did not get that. He bought it for the seat, so he kept it. But he did say that the guy had bought this tractor and it was green, and the dealer told him that he had a patio, and so he painted it back to white. So that could have been the original transmission in it, but I still don't think it is, because it did not have an LSD transmission tag, and it did not look like an LSD on the inside. I've never seen the inside of one, but it did not strike me as LSD. It wanted to spin the differential before it would spin anything else inside. So I think that probably still was not the original transmission, but I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of backstory that I got. So he bought this in Indiana, the guy who was using it, and that's what I got. So he said it did come with a blue patio seat, so that guy had at least put it to blue, or wanted to anyway. So we don't know what color it was factory still, but that's the backstory I know. Let's get back to it and put some more things together. Alright guys, we are going to get the seat thrown on the platform and put the platform on, and the cat is here to help us apparently. I'm not going to use these because they're super shitty and broken multiple places, welded very crappily, and I do not have another set with the holes for the latch, so I'm just going to put normal ones on it and go with it that way. But I'm going to toss you in the stand and get to it. Alright, so those of you who watched Reviving the 112 that this came off of, you saw we looked inside of here, but it was bolted on with the mount. So this is going to be the first time the seat has been out of here in who knows how long. If the zipper will work and unzip, that would be nice. Hi cat. Here we go. Oh. Ooh, it is in rough shape. There's not a whole lot of it left, is there? But it is textured, and it is blue patio. Wow. It is in rough shape. There's nothing left on the back at all. I honestly think I'm just going to leave it inside of this cover to reserve the last small little bit of it there is left. You guys see these nuts have all broke out and they welded them back in. Oh, this cushion will come right off. Not hooked on. So today is Thursday. Listed the other 112 over there that I'm parting out for this tractor today as parts. So you guys get dibs before I even finish the video. Put it on YouTube and also put it on the John Deere groups on Facebook. Don't know if any of you guys are in any of them, but yeah. So I'm gonna get them seat mounts on this thing. Not gonna film that, and we're gonna throw it on the platform and get the platform on. Okay, so I completely forgot to record putting the platform on till I was about halfway through, and I just decided to throw it on because you guys probably aren't super interested in watching me set that on anyway. But I set it on, it's not bolted on. See, I can still pick it back up. I put this knob on, put that on, and got it kind of adjusted. I just need to bolt those on. And the seat is just a touch crooked, it appears, because of the way they have it welded in there. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. I might tap this side forward or something to make it a little more even. But I'm not super worried about it right now. I think we need to put the pedal on, bolt the platform on, knob here. I'm thinking about changing at least the steering wheel. I'm not 100% sure if I want to mess with changing the shaft too. Done it before. Kind of a pain without a lift. Got to jack the front end up enough that you can get it out, and it's real tight. Just kind of a pain. So I'm going to keep the steering shaft and wheel out of that to put in this later, but I'm not going to do it right now. With that being said, it now has front linkage. It already had that, and it has rear linkage. It has a good transmission. Still good to go through all the gears. I need to bolt the platform on, put some tires on the rear, and we are good to try to get it running. So let's get to that. I'm going to throw a few things together here, and I'm not going to video it because, you know, 4 nuts and washers for the platform. Thread that on there and throw the tires on. So I will bring you guys back when that's done. Okay, today's the 7th. It's Friday. Been working on this all week. Finally have the transmission, everything done with. Transmission's back in. You guys saw platforms on, rear linkage is hooked up, knob, ball, got the ball there, got the pedal on. Everything is put together. I did take the nut off the steering wheel and break the steering wheel loose last night. I'm going to switch steering wheels and steering shafts because if you look, as I turn this, the shaft moves back and forth just as much as the steering wheel. So I'm just going to replace the whole ordeal with the one out of that tractor I'm parting out. But today I want to put a battery in it and see what it does. So I've charged that battery up over there a couple days ago. Hopefully it's still holding a charge. And I'm going to put it in here and see what it does. So let's get right on that. Do the smoke test here. Alright, I'm going to go grab the sparkulator tester, see if it has spark. Any guesses? I think it has spark. Nope, it doesn't. Shows how right I am. Okay. Got power to the coil when I turn on the switch. I have power to the voltage regulator. Now, occasionally we can get lucky and just crank it a bunch and it'll get spark. spark now. I'm gonna put some gas in it. Alright, so put some gas in it. We'll check the spark again. Dang it. Okay, let me bring the battery charger back or something. Alright. Throw in another battery in here. Alright. Still have good spark. Let's hit it with a little happy juice and see what it does. Oh, hang on, we're leaking and pissing and squirting everywhere here. Here's it coming out up there. Puddle on the ground, dripping off here. So I'm going to replace this fuel line because it's kind of hard, and we'll be right back at it. Alright guys, replaced this. Let's give her some happy juice and see if she pops off. Not full all the way, but has enough in it to get it running on. And I might just add to it because it looks really clean. I'll have to smell it and see what I think. But let's give it some happy juice and see if it pops off. Didn't take much. See if we can get it fired back up again. Doesn't smell super great. Let's give her some more happy juice, see what she does. even charges its battery. If I have the voltage regulator hooked up. Alright. Well, let's see here. That is probably going to be just about a wrap for this. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to replace this anytime soon or not. But hydraulic lift works. They do have it set up backwards, so I'll just need to switch the lines here, which is pretty easy. Just need a crescent wrench or probably a 5/8. It might even be only 9/16. But it starts, runs, drives, everything works, runs really good. So it's going to be it for the will it start portion. That was easy. I don't know how long it sat before I got it. I'll have to ask the guy I bought it from. But it's been sitting here since last June, so over a year. Let's see here, what month are we in? October. So a year and almost a year and a half. It's been here a year and 4 months now. So and I haven't touched it. So I mean, 10 horse Kohler runs great. Doesn't knock, doesn't make any noise, no balance gear issues. I'll be checking the fluid and the hydraulics. Eventually changing the engine oil. It looks pretty good right now till I get everything how I want it. And yeah, let's switch out to steering shaft and steering wheel, and this thing will be pretty much ready to get back to work. So, oh yeah, and I need to switch these lines. So let me do that real quick. All right, let's swap these lines out here. All right, guys, I switched out steering shafts and wheels. It's no longer bent, straight. I'll show you here from the front. The other one is down there leaking on the floor for some reason. It's actually straight now. Got the front end up on jacks, the back end I got the tires sitting on some 4x4s. Here's the old shaft. That's looking straight down at it. Shaft is definitely bent. Don't know why this thing's leaking. Haven't looked to see what it's leaking yet. And here's the old steering wheel. It's not horrible. But I mean, if you look at it straight like this, you can see how the middle's bent some. So, because I really like this tractor and I want to make it nice, I just switched it out. Only took me an hour or two. For some reason, it must be this shaft is bent just enough. It refused to come out. I had to beat it out with a sledgehammer and beat it back and forth. It took me half an hour just to get that out. So now we are ready to use this, I think. Let's see here. I switched the hydraulic lines, switched steering shaft, steering wheel. It runs. The air filter in it's newer. Oil in it's newer. I'll change that here after a few hours of run time. Let's see here. Got good rear tires now, bars, good transmission. I think it's ready to use now. So I think that's going to be a wrap for the video. You will eventually see this in action on the channel. I plan to use it a lot. I asked already on the John Deere forum on Facebook, but I'm going to ask you guys again now to see if anybody on here would know. So I showed you that the lift bar has down pressure because they welded washers to the end. I want to know if there's a new spool valve that I can buy that will just bolt up to the existing pump and have a float mode, because that would be real nice, real handy for the rear, I could just stick it in float mode and be done with it. But I would also have down pressure, so that would be real nice. So if anybody knows anything about that, please let me know. Engine runs real good. Looks like the hydraulic pump leaked a little bit right there. But yeah, I mean, it runs good. It drove pretty good, and you'll get to see me playing with it later and using it. But as of right now, that's a wrap for the video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know down in the comment section. If you have any video requests, let me know. And now that this project is done, I'm going to do what I did last time, I think, and do the options. If you go to my channel and tab over to community, it's like 3 tabs past videos, I think. I can put polls and pictures there. So what I'll do is I'll just put a poll there to let you guys know what the next project is going to be. You guys will get to vote. So that's what happened with this. That's why I'm working on this. So I think I'm going to do that next as well. So a little bit later, maybe Saturday, tomorrow, you'll see that. Today's Friday. I'm going to try and get this edited and at least uploaded, if not public, tonight. So thanks for watching. Enough of my yapping. Don't forget to go over and vote here this weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.